Hi there, class. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and this is my final persuasive speech on veganism. The consumption of red meat is an industry that is negatively affecting human health and the environment. According to doctors at the Mayo Clinic, having beef and pork in your diet increases your chances of developing cancer by 25%. As for the environment, CO2 levels have risen in the last 20 years due to gases released with farming animals, based off of information provided by the Inside Climate News in 2019. As a person who has seen sustainable foods as the future of healthy living and natural preservation, a lot of my personal time is spent researching ways to change my diet habits to get the nutrients my body needs while also reducing my carbon footprint. Veganism and sustainability can be the future of how people make and prepare food for their daily lives by making simple changes that can better one's health. Making the change to a more plant based diet can help increase public health, protect the environment, and maintain the ethical treatment of animals. Going plant based can easily be what improves your health and promotes positive energy in your life. Many health problems found in the USA are based off of people's dietary habits, such as heart disease, diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, strokes, and 6 different types of cancers. 1.3 million people died in 2016 due to diseases caused by poor diet habits, as provided by the Center of Science in Public Interest. As most people know, the basic amount of calories that one person needs to intake is about 2,000 per day. Many times people do not pay attention and disregard these numbers when eating throughout their day. When getting a meal at McDonald's, for example, a person on average will consume 1,500 calories for just one meal, as stated on their website as of 2020. Many of these calories are from the meat, which is also full of cholesterol and other disease triggering agents. One of the best ways to truly give your body the healthiest substance is by switching to a completely plant based diet. By switching over, we are able to promote healthier lifestyles as well as helping out the environment. Lowering the amount of resources being needed by the meat industry is a way that our country can start to save water as well as lower emissions caused by herding livestock. 70% of the nitrogen that runs off in the meat industry can get into the drinking water of Americans, being that 40% of the water that we gather comes from underground storage that can easily be tainted by CO2, as stated by Columbia University. Many people do argue that a vegan diet will not help our environment, but rather use more water than the meat industry does today. This is true in the way that all produce needs to be grown in different regions and different ecosystems rather than the meat industry where all of their products can be grown in one area. They also argue that CO2 emissions will only be lowered by a small fraction, being that it's not the main producer of CO2 in our country. The benefit, though, is even though we were lowering CO2 by a fraction, in proportion to how much CO2 is being emitted by our country, this is still a large percentage of what we're giving off. When it comes to raising more vegetation, it would be a clean and efficient way of creating oxygen by planting more livestock, and this will also promote the lowering of CO2 levels in regions already. Though people are very hesitant to leaving meat products, it only provides a positive change by bettering health. This is an easy and effective way to help save people's lives. Vegetarians are at 15% risk of heart disease, while vegans are at 4% of a risk. And people who eat meat are at a 50% risk of heart disease as of 2017, stated by the CyberMed News. This change can be made by one person by lowering the amount of meat intake they consume, as well as finding sustainable plant-based substances that works for them. This will help fuel your body by giving it the best that the earth can provide. Going vegan may seem difficult to do, and many people seem to think that it's much more expensive than it actually is. The research has shown that going vegan should not cost any more than a traditional diet, as mentioned by the BBC News. Going vegan is one of the ways we as a society can better our communities in the way we eat, as well as how we sustain our environment and protect the treatment of animals. Making the change is creating a new lifestyle where you are truly caring about your body and your personal health while also applying this to the environment you live in and having your choices affect the larger picture of the sustainability of our earth. Thank you.